On a US-based scientist who worked at a research lab in China's Wuhan, the city where the COVID virus first emerged, has said that that COVID was a man-made virus and it leaked from a facility in Wuhan. In his latest book, The Truth About Wuhan, epidemiologist Andrew Huff claimed that the pandemic was caused by the US government's funding of coronavirus in China. He further said, and I quote, "COVID was leaked from Wuhan Institute of Virology, a state-run and funded research facility 2 years ago." Mr. Sanjeev Srivastava, international affairs expert, joins us on the program. Mr. Srivastava, appreciate you joining us. Mohd Ali Shah, defense expert, also with us on the program. Mohd Ali Shah, where do you stand on this? A truth that the world has been, screaming at the top of its lungs, but that doesn't seem to be, resonating with anyone at this point in time. China still hasn't paid.
Absolutely. I totally agree with the viewpoints of Sanjeev Srivastava, and very credible, in fact. And Andrew Huff, he's a very, very famous and a very credible epidemiologist, in fact. So he's the former vice president of the EcoHealth Alliance, which is a non-profit organization based in New York that studies infectious diseases. And he was there present in Wuhan. He knew exactly firsthand what was there on ground. And it's a truth which we have all speculated all along. But when he writes a book, The Truth About Wuhan, and he gives out, and he has also, in a way, pointed fingers at the US government also, that they are responsible of indirectly funding Wuhan virus and funding China for that. So this is something which is actually, till now, the speculation was only on China. Oh, China has leaked the virus, they're responsible, bad of them. Yes, but when he also says indirectly the US government is also responsible for it, that is actually quite a shocker, because China and US, this thing has been going on for quite some time. Chinese say the American military came for the military world games in Wuhan. They did it. The military, the US military says, no, China is responsible. But ultimately, as Mr. Sanjeev Srivastava rightly says, it is a criminal act by China, because irrespective whether the virus was leaked from the lab through an accident or deliberately, that we don't know as yet. I'll have to read this book fully to understand further on it. But the very fact, for 2 months, China had blocked their domestic flights, their domestic operations. Why is it that for Beijing, there was no one could not go in and out, but the Chinese were all allowed to travel all over globally, internationally, knowing fully well that there is a very, very dangerous disease that they all are carrying. So they are very, very, so it was a grave danger for the entire world. So I would say China has done it deliberately. It's a biological warfare that they let out for the entire world and created havoc around the world. So now, of course, people tend to, whenever something bad happens, we all tend to look back and think, what happened? For example, I'll give you an example for everyone to connect with. When an accident occurs, so even after the accident, the shock, the aftermaths remain, and you try to visualize in your mind what happened. Oh, didn't I press the brakes on time? What happened exactly? The vehicle was coming from there. Similarly, people would want to analyze, because a lot of people have suffered, the entire world have suffered grave tragedies. So people would want to sit back and see how it happened.
Yeah, fortunate. Well, that's definitely a good point that you've made.